Hi, welcome back. One of the biggest problems I have doing business on the internet is I run into a lot of people who have done business only on the internet. And this creates a problem because a lot of people doing business on the internet or through the internet don't have a realistic idea of what business is all about. Many people enter international trade brokering thinking that they can just set up a web page and get Skype, some email, a high-speed internet connection, and just go for it. That's not the way it works. Many of the time, people come onto the internet thinking that everything like the internet is instant and push button, and it's not. They lack the education that they ought to have had before they got onto the internet. The best people who succeed on the internet are often people who've had some sales training or some customer service experience off the internet. Many people come onto the internet and they listen to joker brokers and they go to these forums and they don't get all the information, they don't get all the insights that they need. There are ways to do business in and off the internet, and they are functionally the same. You don't holler and scream at people in forums by writing in large text. You don't make unreasonable demands of your clients or of potential sellers. For example, if a seller has a set of procedures and you are the middleman, it's your job to give those procedures to the would-be buyer. Now, the would-be buyer may come from a completely different culture, say an American seller and a Chinese buyer. Chinese buyers have a completely different worldview than Westerners do. And because of that, trade deals don't always succeed. But it's your job to try and bridge the two parties, and not to reinforce negative ideas or negative stereotypes about how to do business. People think that they can do business their way, and that works for the local village or the hood, but it doesn't work for international trade. When you want to do a transaction, you have to do it according to the procedures that are standardized, if there are any standardized procedures. And if there are no standardized procedures, you have to do business the way that the would-be seller, the person who has the commodity, wants to do it. You don't walk into a shoe store, for example, and take a pair of shoes and walk out and expect to pay later on, unless, of course, you whip out your credit card first and pay at the cash register. The same thing holds for procedures between would-be buyers and sellers in the international market. You must make it plain to your would-be buyers that if the procedures are in fact sound, that they need to adhere to them. If they can't adhere to them, then they need to either change their buying procedures and adapt to the needs and demands of the market, or do without the product or find another way to get it. The most important thing is, as I said, do not reinforce these stereotypes about doing business, that everything is easy and simple and that you can raise your voice to people either online or over Skype or via email, or that you can intercede and try to basically kill a deal by being too greedy. Many brokers think that international trade is a simple matter. It is not. You have to have skills and dedication. You have to really apply yourself. You have to know the markets that you're dealing with. If you're dealing in car parts or water purifiers, you need to know the market. You need to know who's buying, who's selling, what the standard procedures are, if there are any, and what the acceptable procedures are for the commodity provider. Find out what they want to do with regard to a given product. How's it sold? How's it delivered? Do they deliver products outside of a given region? Some companies in the United States do not sell outside the United States. They don't want to be bothered with it because they haven't fulfilled all of their market niches inside the United States, or in Canada, for example, or in the EU. So you can't force a company to sell a product in a market that they're not prepared to go into.